Our topic for today is all about healing, and it's a very controversial topic which I felt confident to speak about because I want to iron out some misconceptions that people have about healing being suited to a certain cultural group or a certain religious group or certain kind of people. That creates a lot of judgment on people who seek healing and people who want to facilitate the healing of others. So if you've joined me, do pop in the comments, say hi, give me a handshake or an emoji or something to say that you're watching. So hi everyone and good afternoon. I am signing in from South Africa on the North Coast, and I am Farah Manju. I am a female and kids empowerment coach, and I am also an Afia healing practitioner for many years and an accredited international journey practitioner. I hold many different holistic therapies, coaching and mind-body techniques, certification, and my whole goal is to empower women and children to become the best version of themselves, to achieve more self-love, self-worth, to feel more empowered to go after the life of their dreams with confidence. So that's me in a nutshell, and I want to get straight into this topic of healing. And I'm going to share with you different types of healing, tips and steps in the healing process that is essential for you to feel liberated and free to soar. So the tips that I am going to share with you, you are welcome to take notes. You can comment in the chat box. Let me know what your perspective on it is. And I'm willing to be challenged. If you have any questions or queries while I'm speaking, I will actually answer all your questions at the end. So just to let you know that we are all born healers. We might not necessarily heal other people, but we all have an innate gift, an innate ability and the power to heal ourselves, to heal our own bodies, to heal our mind, and to heal our hearts. So when we are in a state of equilibrium, in balance and in harmony with ourselves holistically, mind, body, and heart, that's when we gain access to something called body intelligence, which is the body's own wisdom and ability to heal itself naturally. And when we're in this balanced, integrated state, we can allow for that natural healing the way we've been created to heal ourselves. Our body knows what to do to process things that is happening internally, and we can naturally shift and heal ourselves. So the question is, why aren't we healing ourselves? Okay, so the answer to that is when we are blocking past trauma, when we shut down our emotions, and when we suppress issues and traumas and we do not address it. We either turn a blind eye to it, or we want to hide the pain and the suffering that we've been through. That's when it gets trapped and stored in the cells in our body. And it then manifests into physical illnesses, whether it's chronic or mental illnesses. It manifests into physical pain, emotional pain, and that's when we go through depression, we go through a downward spiral of inner suffering. So everyone asks me, what made you go into healing? Because my business, when I first opened my business, it was named Baraka Healing Sanctuary and Learning Center. At that time, I was also an educator doing private lessons for high schoolers. So I went into healing because I wanted to help other people, to empower other people. But I realized that the word healing got a bit confusing for people. They misconstrued the word healing, and they thought that I was this, the psychic woohoo healer that, throws feathers or does some crazy stuff. So a lot of people misunderstood what my business was all about. So therefore, I had changed the word healing into Baraka coaching and empowerment. So the word healing has many different interpretations, and especially because of the fake healers out there that are ripping people off and lying and fooling people into believing they have special powers or they have psychic abilities, and they're manipulating people for large sums of money. So because of people having a negative connotation to those fake healers, the word healing has become a very loose term for, something that doesn't work. This healing, people are just ripping you off. So I want to speak to those people who have this misconception about healing, and I want to speak to those people who want some clarity on what healing is about, or is interested and would like to gain knowledge and be educated about what the real word of healing. If you are a healing practitioner, what does that consist of? So today I am not speaking about the fake healing. I'm going to speak to you about my interpretation of healing and my definition of healing. And healing for me is to let go and to release old consciousness, to release those things in your life that are weighing you down, and to create more space and an openness to bring in and invite what you truly want in your life. And it allows for positive change and progress and transformation to take place, because you then feel liberated, you feel an openness, and you can then create the abundant life that you want. You can then achieve that inner peace and happiness that you desire. So in my vocabulary, healing equals inner freedom. It equals liberation, because you are able to create the ultimate life that you truly desire and that you dream of. So that is what, in a nutshell, healing is about. So when you feel stuck and trapped in a situation, you sometimes feel very powerless because you are a victim of your circumstances, and we can't always find the solutions when we're stuck in a problem to move forward. So because if you look at traumas or negative situations that keep you trapped or keep you stuck, it has many layers that actually started off long ago. So if something happened in your childhood or in your past, we will keep on attracting that experience in different ways and forms. So we tend to turn a blind eye and we do not address it. We fail to really see where it's coming from, and we just continue with our lives and pretend that nothing happened, or that we are doing okay and we've accepted it, or we made peace with what had happened. But most of the time, deep down, we still feel that pain, that brokenness, and that incompleteness. And because of that pain that's within us, it just proves that you have an emotional wound that is blocked, that you've shut down in order to protect yourself, and you haven't really totally healed from that traumatic experience. So when we block or numb issues from our past, whether it's traumas or the slightest thing that is something we don't want to deal with, okay, we actually, we don't want to feel the pain, but we damage ourselves by blocking it, because over time it just festers and festers within us like a wound, just passing in internally, and it creates so much of internal negativity and toxicity that our bodies become overloaded, and it reacts on a physical level where we then just have all these illnesses and things that we never had before, and it actually like illnesses, it manifests into different diseases and illnesses as a wake-up call. So when negative and toxic emotions become too much for our body to deal with, that's when the illnesses start manifesting. And I experienced this myself in my 20s when I was going through some marital problems. And I had a very difficult childhood of abandonment by my parent and a lot of abuse. So in my marriage in my 20s, I got triggered by similar experience of abuse, and all of the things from the past started manifesting itself in different types of illnesses where I felt sick all the time. I had IBS, I just felt like nauseous, I was anxious all the time, and I actually went through a bad patch of depression. And I was so unbalanced within myself. I lost my confidence, and I was just unhappy all the time at that stage in my life. And I just felt that I would share this with you because I needed to heal myself so badly, and I didn't realize that how my childhood had impacted on my present. So if you are experiencing issues with your health or chronic illnesses or any mental illnesses like depression or anxiety, or you feel sick all the time but you don't have any clue why, okay? Just know that there's something deeper, that there are issues from your past that you haven't addressed, and that you have blocked something that is manifesting physically in your life. And it wants you to take a good look at it, because our body's intelligence speaks to us, and it tells us that your body, your mind, your heart is not in alignment. It's not balanced. So let's look at another example of a person who has a gunshot wound. Now that person can, protect, just try and protect themselves. They don't want to show that they got this gunshot wound now, so they can cover that wound with bandage and pretend it's not there. But what happens, that gunshot wound, that wound doesn't go away. It's still underneath there. It's just covered up, So that's what we do to our emotional wounds, but it only becomes worse over time. It doesn't disappear. So instead of covering it up with the bandage, we need to treat it just like how we treat that emotion. We treat that gunshot wound. Even though it's painful, you have to clean it, take out that bullet or whatever is there and the dirt, and really, dress it up properly before you just go put a bandage on it. So in the same way, our emotional wounds, we need to get to the root cause of where it all happened, and get to the heart of the problems and really address it on a mental, psychological, emotional, and energetic level. So on a holistic level. So research has shown that over 90% of physical illnesses has an emotional root cause, okay? And I've witnessed this in my own life, where emotions, things that you're going through that is traumatic, and it's bringing up fears, insecurities, it's bringing up loss, betrayal, heartbreak. It does manifest ill health, where you feel sick all the time and you have an unhealthy body. So if you have toxic emotions, that equals to an unhealthy body and mind. So it's so vital for you to heal your emotions so that you can be healthy on a physical level, and you can achieve mental and personal growth and well-being. And also, science has taught us that every thought evokes an emotion and then reacts in our body. We feel it on a physical sensation. So if you're having a positive thought, you'll have a positive emotion, and the ripple effect, your body will feel healthy and positive. So that's why people talk about having a positive mind, because everything starts in the mind and it then manifests. It comes downwards, okay? So take for instance, you have a fear of speaking and you've given this opportunity in your business to go and deliver a speech. And it brings up a whole lot of anxiety, and it brings up a whole lot of fear. And now you just feel not good enough because perhaps maybe in your childhood you were giving an oral in class and all the people in the class made fun of you. So it brought up all of those feelings. And you're going to feel like you can't do this, you're a failure, you can't deliver the speech. And you may even have a tummy ache or sore throat that will manifest physically to sabotage that opportunity. And I witnessed this in my own life when I was given opportunities earlier on in my career in my business, where I sabotaged it because I didn't feel enough, and there was a fear of failing, of not being good enough. So the sensations of that fear can be felt on a physical level, where we can have IBS, we can have these stomach cramps, these ulcers, and we just feel sick, and that puts off that whole opportunity from actually materializing, where you probably won't even do that speech because you're just so sick. You made yourself sick because you didn't think you were good enough to do that. And I've witnessed other people also go through a similar thing. So therefore, it's so important to learn the art of healing yourself so that you can self-regulate, you can manage your thoughts, and you can shift your emotions positively so that you could be in a healthy internal state to give off your best in the areas that you want to shine, that you want to soar. So when you are weighed down by a responsibility, an opportunity, and you have all these negative emotions or these limiting beliefs that are blocking your potential from flourishing or you living your best life, then there is underlying self-doubt, insecurity, fears of not being enough, and that is coming from childhood, just like how I've experienced issues from childhood. So those past issues do influence your confidence. It influences how you feel about yourself. It influences your relationships because it interferes with your thinking, and you just feel not enough because that's what you think. So healing doesn't happen by accident. It happens with intention. So in order for you to heal, you need to be ready. You need to be willing and open and make that commitment to yourself and set an intention to heal yourself from the past traumas, from the negative emotions, the negative thought patterns, the negative experiences that are holding you back. And take that responsibility. That's the next thing that you need to do, is to take responsibility for your own healing, because there's no human being that's going to fix you, that has a magic wand. Like I tell many of my clients, I'm not a miracle worker, so I'm not here to fix you. You have to take that responsibility in your healing, and that you need to help yourself. And when you help yourself, then a higher power is there giving you that guidance and is supporting your healing process and giving you that helping hand. Because the source of all healing doesn't come from a healing practitioner, it doesn't come from a coach, it doesn't come from any human being. We cannot do such a thing. That the source of all healing comes from a higher power, from our Creator. So bearing that in mind, that you can't just sit and pray and say, okay, heal me from this illness. You have to actively be part of your healing and take those steps to heal yourself. And that's how His divine help will assist you. So just to reiterate, that healing has nothing to do with cultural beliefs, religious or cultural sects. That some people claim to be healers. Just remember, there are a lot of fake healers and people who have done crash courses online that was like 1 or 2 weeks, and they call themselves healers. So do be on the lookout for those kind of people, and not to get swayed and fooled into signing up with those kind of healers. But the only role of a healing practitioner is to facilitate your healing. their role is not to heal you. Okay, so they are part of your healing process to empower you to heal yourself and to help you to free yourself from past baggage. So that's a really important thing for you to note. So I personally don't believe and don't support passive healing. So somebody just lying on a bed and, you know, the healing practitioner doing all the work and then they telling them, now you're healed. So I personally don't believe in that kind of passive healing. The healing that I support is active healing, because I feel that you need to be an active part of your healing, doing the necessary work internally and taking those steps and using the tools to heal yourself. And that's how I empower my clients to heal their mind with mindset work, to heal their emotions by managing their emotions, and to heal their body with a healthy lifestyle. So it's a whole holistic treatment. So in order for you to get the results that you want, you need to be invested and committed to that healing journey. So there are 7 types of healing, and I'm going to take you through the 7 types of healing. I'm going to break it down for you with examples and for you to understand the different types of healings and which ones are suited to you, because not all types of healings are for everyone. So you need to stick with what works for you and what you feel comfortable and what you prefer. So the first type of healing is emotional healing. And this is very essential because I mentioned 90% of physical illnesses comes from our toxic emotions. So we need to work on our emotional wounds. And as I mentioned earlier, if we're not addressing those emotional wounds, we are carrying it into adulthood and it's manifesting in illnesses. And emotional healing is very effective because our emotions weigh us down. And if we free ourselves from our emotional baggage, we will gain that inner freedom to soar and to feel light and confident to move forward, having all the tools and the emotional intelligence and mastery to achieve anything we want to achieve. And if life throws challenges at us, we are not shaken, but we are grounded in ourselves because we are able to manage our emotions. So emotional healing that I have tried personally on my healing journey is the journey pioneered by Brandon Bays. So Brandon Bays was my trainer, she's my mentor, and she healed herself from a huge tumor the size of a basketball. And her work is phenomenal. It has helped many people heal themselves from cancer, from all kinds of diseases, and also mental illnesses like depression, bipolar, and many other things. And it helps one access their potential and live their purpose. So I'm a product of the journey because that is my go-to healing technique that I use on myself, and I also promote it to my clients. My second healing, emotional healing tool that I use very often in my coaching sessions is the NLP timeline therapy and the EFT tapping, and I use kinesiology and the Afia healing, emotional healing. So those are the different healing techniques that I use for emotional healing. So the second one is, number 2 is mental healing. So mental healing is the ability to switch your mindset. So it's all about managing your thought patterns, shifting it, because your thought is evoking an emotion and your emotion is impacting on your physical well-being. So maintaining a positive mind is of utmost importance. And one needs to remain positive because it influences your whole attitude and your whole day. And it's something I struggled with, to maintain a positive mind at all times. And I really worked hard to get to where I am now. So I use the NLP, hypnosis, and brain gym to help clear any mental blocks and also limiting beliefs. And I use brain gym a lot with students and even moms to help them to gain mental clarity. And if they have any mental fatigue, it's a great way, it's a great tool. And I provide my clients with mental exercises and tools that they can use to strengthen their mind positively. So the third healing type is energy healing. A lot of people now know about energy healing. It's a very popular new age kind of healing. And I just want to speak more about it because a lot of people are skeptical about energy healing. So part of the Afia Healing Practitioners program included a module which was all about energy healing. So this type of healing creates mental and emotional balance and well-being. And it also promotes inner calmness and relaxation. And that's why I love energy healing on myself as well. So it is done through realigning and balancing the energy centers. So the energy centers has various names. So one of the names that people refer it to is known as chakras. In the Arabic language, they call it latifas, and in science, they refer to it as neurological pathways. But what that actually means, the energy centers are the main channels through which energy flows freely. So if there's a blockage on any one of the energy centers, then you are out of alignment and out of balance, and we need to bring you back into equilibrium. And that is done through breath work, breathing techniques, and body awareness techniques. So this type of healing, I incorporate crystals and guided visualizations, but it's not something that I offer freely to all of my clients. So I'm very selective when working with people with energy healing because of the not just with COVID, but that I have to touch them on certain points. So I only use it on women, on females, and I'm very selective because there is a bit of energy release. So I have to be very careful with who I do it with. So I'd like to just share with you that there's very different forms of energy healing, and some other courses in energy healing, they have masters and spirit guides, and they bring in other kinds of spirituality into their healing. So the healing that I offer doesn't have any spirituality because I actually work with clients from all over the world, from different religious backgrounds and cultural groups. So I like to keep everything neutral. And the type of energy healing that I offer is completely natural, and it doesn't include anything spiritual. So the energy gets channeled. We actually draw energy from Mother Earth, so it's totally from nature. And also we visualize pure light. So together with the pure light, that is source energy, and the energy coming from nature, that is a powerful healing combination to effectively heal you in a natural way. So the fourth type of healing is self-healing. So a lot of people inquired about self-healing. How can they heal themselves? Maybe they want to heal themselves every now and again. They can't really afford to go to a practitioner all the time. So they want to do maintenance. So that's what self-healing is all about. So it's not really to heal traumas as such, but if you feel that you are in a good place, you can use the self-healing to maintain that positivity that you have achieved and that empowerment. So self-healing is the ability to support yourself without having a healing practitioner, and it includes things like deep breathing, going into nature and absorbing nature's energy, and doing your own visualization in nature, and walking on the beach on the wet sand. That's very releasing and therapeutic. And also just relaxing in a beautiful garden and taking in the beauty, and with an intention, because any type of healing only works with an openness and a firm intention that I'm sitting here and my negative energy is getting, drawn out of me, and I'm replacing that negative energy with positive energy. So there's different ways that you can do self-healing. I do coach my clients on how to heal themselves. It's something that I do to empower them. So number 5 is supportive healing. So there are different things that you can also do to support your existing healing. So if you're on a healing journey with someone and you're going for example, you're going for timeline therapy, you're doing brain germ, or you're doing kinesiology, or you've done a couple of journey sessions. So you would need to do certain things to support that healing. So those are all of the things that will accelerate that healing process and strengthen and increase your chances of transformation and the progress that you want to see. So that will include things like crystals, using crystals with intention for certain purposes to balance certain areas, energy centers. It can also include listening to a specific guided visualization for your healing that is taking place at the moment. It can also include things like body movement, doing specific exercises that's going to release emotions from that area. And supportive things will also look like eating healthier, maybe having a detoxifying diet, because when you're going on a healing journey, you're also detoxing emotionally. So physically you'll have a detox, so to aid in that process to make it more comfortable for you. So I give my clients a list of suggestions with supportive healing tools that can help them, and different things that they can do according to what they need. But it's no prescription, because it's up to them if they want to implement it. So number 6 is distant healing. So a lot of people were quite curious about what is distant healing. Okay, so distant healing can only be done once you've mastered the art of healing your own body, healing your own mind and your own heart. So if there is a person that you really care about, maybe they are sick, or they're in hospital, or they're living far away, you can actually send them healing energy and positive intentions, with the deep intention that they get better or they recover if they're sick. And you can do this by creating an energy bubble, and you visualize that they are inside of this bubble. So I also teach different types of healing tools that you can use to heal yourself, and you can use to heal people from a distance. Okay, so number 7, the last one, I left the most controversial for last, which is spiritual healing. So spiritual healing is a very debatable topic, okay? So I don't specialize in spiritual healing. As I said, I don't bring in I don't impose my beliefs into my business, my religious beliefs, because I work with people of all backgrounds from all over the world. So I really do stay neutral. But what I can say about spiritual healing is that it does have some benefit. So I'm not against it, but it's not something that I do. So there are very empowering ways that you can use spiritual healing, and I'll explain to you how, okay? So a lot of people think spiritual healing is that you go to a religious person, or you go to this mentor that's holy, and that person prays for you and you come right, like the devil went out of you now, okay? So you came right. But I think that is, not that I don't believe that it works, but I feel it's a very passive way of healing yourself, where you are being so dependent on that person, okay? So it's all about feeling empowered, knowing that you are part of your healing process, okay? So the kind of spiritual healing that I will recommend to you that you can do in your own is to find something in your culture. So whether you are Hindu, whether you are Christian, whether you are Muslim, find something that from a spiritual practice that brings inner peace within you, and that is something extra to your everyday rituals. So find something that brings peace and harmony and balance to you, and do that as an extra added on daily practice, whether it be in the evening or whether it be in the morning, as part of your routine, where you use that to self-regulate and bring yourself back into balance. So when I give you an example from my faith, I'm not imposing, I'm just giving an example. When I was going through my healing journey, the type of spiritual healing that helped me, that I found most beneficial, was reading extra zikr. So for those who don't know what zikr, it's I think people do it in different faiths in different ways. So it's reading on the beads. We call it a tasbih. And I used to chant sayings on those beads, and that used to bring inner peace. Until today, I do a lot of zikr, and I feel I gain a lot of internal peace and contentment. So you can find something in your faith that you find comfort in, and you find inner peace and balance, and make that part of your daily practice as a self-help tool. And I promise you, you will see the difference, because healing yourself on all levels, mind, body, heart, spirit, you can't leave anything out. So that's something I want to emphasize. Okay, so that sums up your 7 types of healing, being emotional healing is 1. Number 2 is mental healing. Number 3 is, what was that now? Let me just double check. Energy healing. Number 4 was self-healing. Number 5 was supportive healing. Number 6 was distant healing. And number 7 was spiritual healing, which I said I don't offer. Okay, great. So having a practitioner to help you, having an accredited, fully qualified healing practitioner who knows what she's doing, will really aid in your healing journey and speed up the healing process, compared to you trying to heal yourself all alone without having any guidance or support. So I am trained in emotional, mental, and energy healing. So the first 3 that from the 7, that's what I specialize in. And I also provide my clients with a lot of valuable support in terms of giving them tips and tools on how they can heal themselves, so they can do self-healing and they can feel supported through their healing journey. So seeking assisted healing from a practitioner will get you the transformational breakthroughs that you want in your life, because we can't really heal traumas when we're stuck in that emotional place where we feel wounded, where we feel disempowered, or we feel like victims. So as an added bonus, I wasn't gonna give you so many tips, but as an added bonus, I'm gonna give you 5 quick tips about healing yourself or going on a healing journey. So the first tip is healing needs to be done regularly, often. So just like dishes, you're not going to leave your dishes for the whole week or the whole month and wash them at the end of the month. It will all be grimy and you'll need a couple of scrubbing brushes and jik and everything to get dirt off those plates. So likewise, if you're doing a little bit of self-healing every day, we are polishing up our inner diamonds so that we can feel free and light to shine. So doing a little bit of healing, a little bit of mindset work, a little bit of emotional balancing, and bringing ourselves back into peace, balance, and harmony will give you the life that you want and help you to achieve all that you set out to achieve in your day. Okay, so the second tip is that if you've tried one method of healing and it didn't work for you, that you should try another type of healing. And then if that healing works and you feel comfortable with it, to stick with it. So I give you a typical example that I used the journey to heal myself from depression, from everything I was going through, all my traumas that I worked through. I felt the journey helped me the most, and that is my go-to healing tool. I love it. And every single month I have a journey session with my journey practitioner. She's in the UK, my beautiful friend, my lovely practitioner, Lindsay. And we have a journey session together every month without fail. And that is how I self-regulate, and I'm staying polished enough to come back to you with all my knowledge and share my knowledge with confidence. So if there's a go-to technique that helps you, stick with that, and remember to keep on healing yourself. The healing doesn't stop. It needs to be ongoing. Okay, so the third tip is to heal yourself daily for 20 minutes using those supportive tools, using self-healing techniques. Because you could do it at the end of each day. I say 20 minutes, you can probably do a guided meditation or a salt bath or affirmations or mindset journaling for 20 minutes at the end of the day, because what that does is it releases the day's stress, and it just relaxes your mind and gets things off your chest. Okay, and the fourth tip is to take action. Once you have healed yourself from a specific issue, it doesn't stop there. You need to take action. So if you were stuck in scarcity and you had a scarcity mindset that you don't have enough, you can't invest in yourself, you can't buy this, you can't do that because you don't have enough money, you're not going to have enough money. So a lot of people are stuck in scarcity. So if that's you and you've healed your block, your scarcity block, you need to start taking action, because when you take action, it will help you to make that progress, to make those quantum leaps that you want to achieve in your life. So a good way to take action if you healed your scarcity block is to invest in yourself and know that the money is going to come. Money is going to come in. You're abundant. Take that course, invest in a coach, do things to make yourself feel good and for you to grow. So that's your fourth tip. Your fifth tip is to celebrate your small wins, because a lot of people are growing and evolving, but they don't really see how far they've come. They compare themselves with other people. They only see how much more they still have to heal, and there's other issues coming up. There's always going to be layers and layers of issues. Life is going to throw challenges. Nothing's perfect in life, but you need to celebrate how far you've come and what you've overcome and what you've achieved so far in your healing journey. So I'm very grateful that I've healed my block of speaking, my communication block. I had a fear of public speaking, and imagine if I still had a fear of public speaking. I wouldn't be here today giving you all of these tips. I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't have so many different platforms that I educate women and the courses that I do. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't heal myself. So I always remind myself of how far I've come and the confidence that I've gained to give my best and be my best self. So another bonus tip that I want to share with you is 5 main steps that you need to, that you need to have in place for your healing journey to be a success. Okay, so no matter what method of healing you choose as part of your journey, these are the 5 things that you need to go through in order to see the transformational results. So the first thing is to clear out old consciousness, whether that is in the form of old limiting beliefs or the emotional wounds, the negative emotions that are linked to the past. So in order for you to flourish, you need to clear that old consciousness coming from the past. The second thing is to get to the root cause of your issues. So where it's all coming from, understanding why it happened to you and why you're still holding on to it. Because as long as we haven't learned the lessons, we're not going to move on. So understanding why that had to happen, because things happen for you, not to you. So when you have that shift in perspective that this had happened because it shaped me into being this person today. Like, I grew up without my dad, and it was very painful. My whole childhood felt like I was deprived of love. I was abandoned by my father, and I lacked something. But now in hindsight, I've learned the lessons that it made me the strong, courageous woman that I am, the independent woman that I am, and the empathic soul that I am, that I wouldn't be this person if I had a father in my life. And I wrote a whole book on my ebook, is on my website. I'll talk more about it, about that story. Okay, so let's move on. Number 3 is releasing and letting go. Releasing and letting go is such a big part of your healing process, but most importantly is to learn to forgive, to have a wholehearted forgiveness. That's when you truly let go, to forgive yourself and to forgive other people that have contributed to your pain and suffering. Because in order for you to move on, you need to let go and give those old consciousness, give it back to wherever it came from. Because a lot of us are sitting with ancestral beliefs. So we need to send it back to the source, maybe send it back to India or wherever it came from, you know. So the fifth step, the last step that I wanted to make want you to remember, is to always support your healing with self-reflection, journaling after healing, and writing down one action step that you have to take, because healing yourself is not enough. You need to learn the lessons and take action to make that change, to create that transformation in your life. So with self-empowerment comes reflection. When you reflect, you are empowered then not to make those same mistakes and attract those same patterns and the things that were happening to you in the past. You don't want them to happen again, okay? So you have to learn the lessons behind everything, draw the wisdom, and let go of the suffering, let go of what happened. You don't need to be a victim of your story. So I think I missed out one step, that is healing the inner child. The younger version of you went through a lot, went through a great deal of pain. So we need to free her in order for you to be free in present time, okay? There's a lot of inner child healing that I do with the journey, and also with hypnosis and NLP timeline therapy. So, and also in my transformational coaching, I do a lot of inner child healing, which I think is very important. So to support my client, I always suggest that they work on their mindset, that they work on a healthy lifestyle in taking better care of themselves, so self-care, and also the different exercises that I will give them to maintain the positive shifts. So there's always some action that needs to take place after the healing. There's no such thing as passive healing. So my healing journey started in my mid-20s. And I told you a little bit about my life, that I suffered from depression because of marital issues, family issues, and I couldn't be happy about anything, even though it looked like I had everything. I'm supposed to be happy. I had a good-looking husband, I had 2 children, and people just thought, you know, why is this girl going through depression? So I got to the heart of my issues, and most of my issues came from childhood neglect, abandonment from my parents, and from one of my parents. And I healed all of that: insecurity, unworthiness, rejection, unlovability, the whole shebang. I cleared all of that, and I'm so grateful that I am free now to live my life's purpose and to really soar and be the best version of me. And I realized that I took responsibility for my own healing, and I did what was necessary to bring me to where I am today. And I didn't stop, and my healing journey is always continuing. And because I really wanted to be the best mother to my children, I didn't want my children to suffer the way I suffered. And with that, I released self-doubt, I released my lack of confidence, I released self-sabotage, and I became this best version of me that is so confident today. And it's not something I want to brag about, but from where I was 10 years ago to where I am now, it's a huge difference. People don't even recognize me as the same person. So 10 years later, I'm so liberated, living my purpose. And this is what I want to empower other women to do and facilitate positive change and healing in their life, to transform their lives totally. So my message to you that I want to ask you, to ask yourself this question: what area in your life needs healing today? Which area do you want to work on to transform your life more positively? And just write down whatever comes to mind, or keep this question in mind, and you can write it down a little later when you have some free time. And whichever method of healing you choose, and whoever you want to choose to support you, it's important to select the right person to support you that aligns with your energy, your values, your beliefs. And that's how you're going to get to where you want to be in life. Sometimes you can't struggle alone. You need somebody who has been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the experience, and that can help you, will guide you along those steps on how to get to where you want to be. So that's where my work comes in, where I help people to heal through the journey, and I love the journey. And also I use other techniques as mentioned, but I also have many courses and programs that I put together that is holistic, that comprises of all of my services. So if you would like to learn more from me, if you found this talk informative, then there's much more that you can learn from me on working with me and doing my courses, because I can't include everything here. So if you are interested in learning more, or learning more about how you can heal yourself and be empowered to live your best life, then do reach out to me. And my website is barakacoaching.co.za. Or you can email me personally on info@baraka.co.za. And on my website, I have a free ebook for you to download, which has more about my story, and it has a lot of techniques and tools. It has actually 5 steps that I take you through in detail on how to heal yourself from depression and help you move to a more positive state of mind. So if you'd like to read my book, it's a free ebook. You can download it off my website, and it will come to your inbox in your email. So do take care, and thank you so much for watching.